morning and welcome to maths class. So in this class, in maths 2, we were working on quadrilaterals. Let's quickly recap. So firstly, definition of quadrilateral: any closed-sided, any closed figure which is four-sided, it is a quadrilateral. Right? And then we look at the type of quadrilaterals. The one which has all sides equal, that is a square with all angles as 90 degrees. Then a rectangle has opposite sides equal with all angles 90 degree. And rhombuses, they have all the four sides equal and they have two pair of sides to be parallel, right? Then we saw the trapezoids. Trapezoids have only one pair of sides which are parallel. Okay, why I'm repeating this every day? Because you really need to understand what is the relationship between these 4 to 5 type of quadrilaterals, because there can be different type of questions being asked. There can be true or false also, and very simple to difficult questions as well. Okay, so you should be very clear with the basics. Next, parallelogram. Parallelogram has two pairs of opposite sides to be parallel, and the opposite sides are equal also. The opposite angles are also equal. Okay, so this is the relationship chart between these 5 type of quadrilaterals that we are studying in class 9. Quadrilaterals can be classified into 2 categories. First is the parallelogram, which has two pair of opposite sides to be parallel and equal, whereas a trapezoid has only one pair of sides which are parallel. Then we see rectangle and rhombus. Rectangle has opposite sides to be equal and 90 degrees. All angles is 90 degrees. Rhombus has all four sides equal with opposite angles to be equal, no 90 degrees. And square has all these properties. It has all the sides equal and all the angles 90 degrees. Okay. Next, we saw the properties of parallelogram, very basic thing. Okay, properties of parallelograms, we see that the adjacent angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. By supplementary, it means the sum is 180 degree. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent, and opposite angles, they are also congruent, whereas the diagonals, they bisect each other, right? So these are the images. You can see here the adjacent angles is supplementary. When I say that, it means sum of the adjacent angles, some of the angles which are next to each other. If I consider A, next to it is B. So A plus B is 180 degrees. A plus D is 180 degrees. D plus C is 180 degrees. C plus B is 180 degrees. Okay. So sum of the adjacent angles, the angles which are next to each other, the sum is 180 degrees. Okay. Next, we see opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. So opposite sides means the sides which are right in front of each other like this, which face each other. So PS is equal to QR and PQ is equal to SR. Next, opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Opposite angles means angle S is opposite to angle Q. So these two angles are equal. Angle P is equal to angle R. Okay, again, opposite angles, they are congruent. So instead of writing out all the properties, you can also draw out, okay, draw out small parallelograms like this and just mark on them the properties so that it will be easy for you to remember and recollect. Next, diagonals, they bisect each other. So notice the diagonals are being marked that way because they bisect each other. That means that they break each other into equal parts. Okay. So if PR is 10, it will be broken into two equal halves, that is PO and OR. If I name this point of intersection as O. All right. We move on to the next topic that we did yesterday. Okay. So yesterday we saw how to identify if a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram, how to prove, especially how to prove that if we are given any quadrilateral, how can we prove that it is a parallelogram? So we had these four properties. Using any one of these four properties, we can prove that a given quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, so how do we do that? Just check. First one, first property is again use drawings. So you can draw it out like this. A quadrilateral is a parallelogram if its pair of opposite angles are congruent. So when I say opposite angles, that means this one, opposite angles means these opposite angles, they are congruent. Okay, just look at the markings, how the angles are marked. All right. So pair means it's pairs. That means both the pairs should be congruent. Then we say it is a parallelogram. Or the second one, a quadrilateral is a parallelogram if its pairs of sides are congruent. That means both the pairs, they should be congruent, not one pair. Both the pairs should be congruent, then it is a parallelogram. Third property, if the diagonals bisect each other, then it is a parallelogram. Look at this diagram. If the diagonals, they bisect each other, then we can say that yes, this is a parallelogram. And lastly, if any one pair, okay, if one pair is parallel or congruent, okay, so parallel is denoted by these arrowheads. The arrowhead means these sides are parallel, okay, and this symbol is for congruent. So again, using the images, it is very helpful. Using the images, you can think of the property that you would use to prove the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, this page is very important. With that, we will start with practice set 5.2. So here you could see there are 5 questions in 5.2. From these 5 questions, question number 3 and question number 5 is omitted for this academic session. Okay, so please mark in your textbooks. Question number 3 and question number 5 is not there for this academic session. Okay, let's move on to first question. Now I'm going to put a reference picture here because, as I said, to prove that this quadrilaterals is a parallelogram, we are going to require these 4 properties, and we have to decide from these 4 which property we have to use here to prove that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. We start with writing out what is given. Okay, always make it a habit. It's a good habit to write given to prove and solution for maths 2. Okay, so in this case, we are given that ABCD is a parallelogram. So what are we given? Quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, and then we are given that P and Q, they are midpoints, right? P and Q are midpoints. We are given this of side AB and DC respectively. So no need to mention all that, but you can just say that P and Q are midpoints. This is given. And we have to prove, so write it out like this, to prove. What are we asked to prove? That quadrilateral APCQ is a parallelogram. Okay, we have to prove this. All right, so given, to prove. Now let's look at the solution. Now before we proceed to the solution, I will just highlight whatever is given. So notice we are given that P and Q are midpoints. If P is the midpoint of AB, I can mark these 2 sides. I can mark that these 2 sides are equal, right? Likewise, point Q is the midpoint. Therefore, these 2 sides, they are equal. Since it's a midpoint, DQ will be equal to QC. Okay, so we can see that we are given relationship of only one pair. Okay, if only one pair is given, now look at this picture and decide which property you would use to prove that the parallelogram, that the quadrilateral APCQ is a parallelogram. Okay, which property would you use? So looking at the diagrams itself, you can see that which figure has only one pair of opposite side. Which figure includes or shows only one pair of sides to be involved. It is the fourth figure, right? Only one pair is given. You can see here, there are two pairs, okay? This is angles, forget it. This is diagonals, forget it. No use of these two properties. So either the first property or the last property. From these also, the last property has one pair of, it shows one pair of sides. So we are going to use this property. So we have to prove that for this quadrilateral APCQ, one pair, that is AP and QC, it is parallel and equal. Okay, so let's start with the proof. Let me highlight the quadrilateral. We have to concentrate on this AP, C and Q. Okay, we have to prove that this is a parallelogram. Okay, so how do we start? Start with whatever is given. Okay, so we start with saying that quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Therefore, what can we say? Therefore, AB is parallel to DC, right? AB is parallel to DC. Now, if AB is parallel to DC, can we say AP is parallel to CQ because they are parts, right? Therefore, what can we say? AP is parallel to CQ. Why? Because AP and B, they are the points on one same line. Likewise, DQC, they are the points on one single line. So if two lines are parallel, then the parts are also parallel. We can label this as equation 1. What are we supposed to prove? We are supposed to prove that these two sides, they are parallel and congruent. So we have proved that these two smaller sides, they are parallel. Now let's prove that they are congruent. Okay, how do we do that? So since it's a parallelogram, we know that for parallelogram property that the opposite sides of a parallelogram are congruent. So we can say AB is congruent to CD. How do we know that? Reason, you have to write the reason, because opposite sides of parallelogram are congruent. Okay, therefore half of each side will also be congruent to half of the other side, correct? What is half of AB? Complete thing AB. Half of AB is AP. Okay. So what can we say? AP is congruent to CQ. Now check. Intentionally, I am using CQ. I could have used DQ also, but I am using CQ. Why? Because it is a part of this quadrilateral APCQ. So instead of DQ, we are using CQ. Okay. So AP is congruent to CQ. Label this as equation 2. So notice we were supposed to prove that pair was parallel and congruent, and we have done that. Okay. From equation 1, it is parallel. From equation 2, it is congruent. Therefore, from equation 1 and 2, what can we say? What can we say? That the quadrilateral APCQ is a parallelogram. Okay, it's a parallelogram. How can we say that it's a parallelogram? Because if one pair, if a pair, you can write the word if a pair of sides is parallel and congruent, if a pair of sides is parallel and congruent, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. If a pair of sides is parallel and congruent, then it is a parallelogram. All right. So this is how we prove it. So let me quickly recap again about this question. So we were given that the complete complete quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram, and we were asked to prove that APCQ is a parallelogram, right? So how did we start? We start with thinking about which property to use, right? So we decided we have to use the fourth property, okay? And how did we prove that? We considered the sides AB and CD. We said AB is parallel to CD, therefore half of it will also be parallel. Parts of it is parallel, so AP is parallel to CQ. Likewise, we started saying AB is congruent to CD. If the two sides are congruent, then the half of it will also be congruent. Half of AB, that is AP, is congruent to half of CD, that is CQ. And from 1 and 2, we can say if one pair is parallel and congruent, then the quadrilateral turns out to be a parallelogram. Thus, that is how we have proved it. Okay. So the proofs are really short and sweet, but you need to understand how and which property we are using. Okay. Let us move on to second question. Practice set 5.2. Using opposite angles test for parallelogram, prove that every rectangle is a parallelogram. Okay. So what are we given here? We are asked to prove that every rectangle is a parallelogram. So this part is to be proved, and this part is given, okay, that it's a rectangle. This is given. So we can start with drawing out a picture first. Okay, every rectangle, they have given a rectangle, and we have to prove that a rectangle is a parallelogram. Okay, so start with drawing out a rectangle and label it. Okay, so let's say this is A, B, C, D. What are we given? We are given that quadrilateral, label it like this, quadrilateral ABCD is a rectangle. We are given that it's a rectangle. And what are we supposed to prove? We have to prove that this quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Now, you would have got a clear picture of which property we use here, right? But still, I will display all the 4 properties. Check, these are the 4 properties. From these 4, which property are we going to use? We are going to use the one which is related to opposite angles, and it is this one. If 2 pair of opposite sides are of opposite angles are congruent, then that is a parallelogram. Okay, that quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So we have to prove that 2 pairs of the angles, they are congruent. Okay, let us start with whatever is given. Solution. We are given that ABCD is a rectangle. Now, since it is a rectangle, we know that all angles are 90 degree, right? So therefore, angle A is equal or is congruent to angle B is congruent to angle C. All the angles are congruent and they are equal to 90 degrees. This is equation 1. Okay. Now we have to prove the pairs, the opposite pair of angles, they are equal. All right. So let us group them. We can say angle A goes with angle C and angle D goes with angle B, right? So from 1, we can say that angle A is congruent to angle C and angle B is congruent to angle D. Check. We are intentionally grouping the angles in such a way that we get opposite angles together. Okay, if in case you write angle A and angle D are congruent, then that won't give you marks because we have to use the opposite angles test. So make sure that you are grouping the opposite angles together. So angle A is congruent to angle C, angle B is congruent to angle D. Therefore, what can we say? Therefore, the quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. And we are going to write out the reason here. What is the reason? If the opposite angles are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay, so write out, if both pair of opposite angles are congruent, then it is a parallelogram. Okay, so see again, this is a very small proof, but you need to understand how to apply it or how to write it out in proper steps. Okay, let us move on to third question. Yes. So question 3 is omitted. We move on to question number 4. Prove that the quadrilateral formed by the intersection of angle bisectors of angles of a parallelogram is a rectangle. Now, in exam, it may happen that you're not given this diagram, okay? So just by looking at these words, reading these words, you should be able to draw a diagram like this. So let us understand first what is given. Prove that the quadrilateral formed by the intersection of angle bisectors of all angles of a parallelogram. So you can see that these dotted lines, these are angle bisectors of a parallelogram. Notice, angle bisectors of all angles of a parallelogram. So what are we given? We are given that the quadrilateral ABCD, the outer one, it is a parallelogram. Okay, so we are given that it's a parallelogram. Okay, what else are we given? We are given that these dotted lines, these are angle bisectors. So we can just write out AR. Okay, no, ray AR, you can just label it like that, ray AR, then DP, then BR, then CP. These are the angle bisectors. Okay, these are angle bisectors. Now what are we asked to prove? We are asked to prove the quadrilateral which is formed by the intersection of these angle bisectors. Which is that quadrilateral? It is this one. We have to prove that this is a rectangle. Okay, we have to prove that this is a rectangle. Now understand something very important. How can we prove that it is a rectangle? PQRS, we have to prove that quadrilateral PQRS is a rectangle. Your approach should be, if I want to prove that this is a rectangle, what should I prove? You need to prove, since you are given angle bisectors, clearly it's a hint that you need to prove that all the angles of this quadrilateral are 90 degrees. So the trick, or should I say, the, you know, something should flash in your mind, that is that we have to prove that this is a rectangle. I need to prove that all angles are 90 degree. If all the angles are 90 degree, then it can be a square or it can be a rectangle, right? But note that a square is also a rectangle. So you just have to prove that all angles are 90 degree. That's all. Okay. So let's start with the proof. The proof is really interesting. Okay, let me help you with that. So for that, maybe just try to zoom in this picture. Just a minute. So that you can understand. Let me first explain what or how we are going to prove that all these angles are 90 degrees. So we can just start with saying that these two are angle bisectors, and this DP is angle bisector. So these two angles will be equal. Angle bisector means it is dividing the angle into two equal parts. Okay. So angle bisector of D will break the angle D into two equal parts. So I can write X and X like this. Same way for C, this is the angle bisector. So these two angles will be equal. We can label it as Y and Y. All right. Now, since this is a parallelogram, we are given that this is a parallelogram. We know that the property of parallelogram. So first thing we are going to use is property of parallelogram, that the adjacent sides, the adjacent angles, the sum of adjacent angles is 180 degrees, right? Sum of adjacent angles is 180 degrees. So angle D plus angle C, what should be the sum? 180 degrees. But what is angle D? It is X and X, that is 2X. What is angle C? It is Y and Y, that is 2Y, that is equal to 180 degrees, right? If we divide everything by 2, we get X plus Y equals to 90 degrees, correct? So we got X plus Y equals to 90 degrees. Then we can look at a triangle like this. Okay, just look at it, concentrate. How we are proving that angle P is 90 degrees. Okay, first we have shown that X plus Y is 90 degrees. Then we are concentrating on this triangle. And now we can say that, let's say this angle, we can just say that this is angle P. So by the angle sum property, so second thing we are using is the angle sum property. Okay, angle sum property for a triangle. We know that sum of all angles is 180 degrees, right? So X plus Y plus the angle P, the total should be 180 degrees, right? But we know X plus Y is 90 degrees. So what are we getting? This 90 would shift. So we get angle P is 90 degrees. So this is how we prove that this angle P is 90 degrees. So using these two properties, we are going to prove that angle P is 90 degrees. But we need to prove all angles are equal. So once we have proved angle P is 90 degree, we can say similarly, angle R can be proved that this is 90 degree. How similarly? Again, we can prove it using this triangle, the upper triangle, isn't it? So we are not going to write that proof. You just say similarly, we can prove that angle R is 90 degrees. Okay. And similarly, we can prove the remaining S and Q, they are also 90 degrees. Okay. So we just need to prove that angle P is 90 degrees. And how are we proving it? Using these two properties. Okay. So let us start with writing out the proof. I hope you have understood the logic. Okay. So first we start with saying that quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay. Quadrilateral ABCD is a parallelogram. We are given this. Therefore, what can we say? Therefore, sum of adjacent angles is 180 degrees. Therefore, angle D plus angle C equals to 90 degrees. Angle D plus angle C equals to 180 degrees. Sorry, it is 180 degrees. Okay. And in the diagram itself, you can mark that this is angle X and angle X, and the other one, this is Y and Y, because of the angle bisectors. Okay. So we have to just substitute the values here. Angle D is twice of X plus angle C is twice of Y, which is equals to 180 degrees. And you can mention the reason why we got that 2X and 2Y, because DP and CP are angle bisectors. They are the angle bisectors of angle D and angle C respectively. You need to use the word respectively. Okay. So we have got 2X and 2Y. Now divide all the sides or all the terms by 2 and we are left with x plus y equals to 180 equals to 90 degrees, right? Divided by 2, 2 gets crossed out. We are left with x divided by 2, only y is left. 180 divided by 2, 90 is left, right? So this is equation 1. Now we are going to use the second property. That is, we can say here, in triangle, which triangle are we going to refer? Okay, if you remember the diagram carefully, if you look at it carefully, you can recollect the properties automatically. That yes, to prove that one angle is 90 degree, I need to consider this triangle, and this triangle means I need to use the angle sum property. Okay, so we just name the triangle first. In triangle PDC, okay, in triangle PDC, what can we say? Angle P plus angle D plus angle C equals to 180 degree. What is the reason for this? This is the angle sum property of triangle. Okay. And now just substitute the values. What is angle P? We don't know. Keep it as it is. What is angle D? Angle D. Now notice angle D is, or simply we can, instead of writing it that way, you can mention here itself that this angle P, we don't know what is that, angle P plus X plus Y plus X plus Y, because when I write D, it can be ADP, it can be PDC, or it can be ADC, the complete angle also. So instead of writing only angle D, we should write here X. Okay, so X and Y, that is equals to 180 degrees. We know X plus Y is 90 degrees. That is equals to 180 degree. From where did we get this 90 degree? You need to write out the reason. We got this from 1. Okay, we got this from equation 1. And therefore, what can we say? Angle P equals to 180 minus 90. That is 90 degrees. Okay, this is equation 2. So therefore, we can prove, or we can say similarly, okay, similarly, we can prove angle R is equals to 90 degree, angle Q equals to 90 degree, and angle S equals to 90 degree. Therefore, what can we say? All angles are 90 degree. Therefore, this is a rectangle. Therefore, the quadrilateral PQRS is a rectangle. Okay, that completes the proof. So once again, let us take a quick recap on how we did this question. First, understand what was given and what is to be proved. We were given that this, the bigger one, the outer quadrilateral is a parallelogram. We were given this and we were asked to prove that the inner one is a rectangle. Okay. And we have used two properties. First one being sum of the adjacent angles is 180 degree. And secondly, the angle sum property of a triangle. Okay. So remember which properties we are using, where and how. All right. With that, let us move to the next concept, that is on properties of rectangles, rhombus and square. Okay. So far what we have done, we have looked at the properties of a parallelogram, right? Then how to prove the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Okay. But now we are going to look in detail about the special property of diagonals of these shapes. Okay, now something very important. Notice this part. It's in your textbook. Page number is okay. Just a minute. Let me tell you the page number. So the page number for this is 68. Okay, on page 68, this part, write the proofs of the following statements is omitted. Okay, so before this there are 2 3 theorems, they should be studied, but you don't need to look at this part. All right, and what are we going to look at now? These are the properties which we have to remember. Okay, so let me write it out here for you. So first one is for a rectangle, second one is for a square. So for a rectangle, for a square, you can see there are two properties, three properties for a square, and then two for rhombus. Okay, so special, very special about rectangle, what can we say? The diagonals are congruent. So try to just use symbols to just note out the things. So for a rectangle, I've drawn a rectangle. For a rectangle, the diagonals, they are congruent. Okay. Secondly, for a room or for a square, try to see there are three properties for diagonals. So first thing is that the diagonals, they are congruent. Now no need to write diagonals because all these properties, they are for diagonals only. Okay, so first thing, the diagonals are congruent. Secondly, the diagonals, they are perpendicular bisectors of each other. So the symbol for perpendicular is this. Okay, they are perpendicular bisectors of each other. And third property is that the diagonals, they bisect the opposite angles. Okay, so third property, the diagonals, they bisect opposite angles. All right. And third is for a rhombus. Okay. So a rhombus would go something like this with all the sides are equal. Okay. For a rhombus, what can we say? Firstly, the diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. So they are perpendicular and they are the bisectors of each other. And secondly, the diagonals of a rhombus bisect the pairs of opposite angles. So second property, the same one, this one, that the diagonals, they bisect opposite angles. Okay, so just by looking at the properties of diagonals, you can identify what type of shape it is. Okay, so if I say that there is a quadrilateral with equal diagonals, with the diagonals congruent, with the diagonals which are perpendicular bisectors to each other, if only if I give you these two properties, still you should be able to say that yes, it is a square. If I say the diagonals are congruent to each other, only one property, if I'm giving only one property, that the diagonals are congruent to each other, you should be able to say that yes, it is a rectangle. Okay, if I'm saying the diagonals are perpendicular bisectors and the diagonals, they bisect the opposite angles, you should quickly say yes, it is a rhombus. Okay, so just by looking at the properties of diagonals, you should be able to identify what shape it is, which quadrilateral it is. Okay, so this is something very important. Mark this in your textbook. Also try to write out points like these to say to just to distinguish on the basis of diagonals. Okay, this is just for diagonals. You can note here that for a square, there are these three properties are there. Maximum properties for a square and minimum properties. Only one property is there for this rectangle. Okay, only one property, that the diagonals are congruent. But if you notice, for the square has all the properties of a rectangle also and for a rhombus also. Okay, so once again, quickly I'll repeat. For a rectangle, the diagonals are only congruent. For a square, the diagonals are congruent. The diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. Then the diagonals, they bisect the opposite angles also. Okay. For a rhombus, what can we say? The diagonals, they are perpendicular bisectors of each other and they bisect the opposite angles. Okay, so with this we can start with the next practice set 5.3. Okay. So the first question, diagonals of a rectangle ABCD, they intersect at point O. Okay. And if AC is equals to 8 centimeter, then find the length of BO. Let's just quickly draw out whatever is given. So we are given a rectangle. Let us draw a rectangle like this. Label it. This is ABCD. And we are given that the diagonals, they intersect at point O. So these are the two diagonals and they intersect at the point O. Okay. And we are given that AC is equals to 8 centimeters. Then find the length of BO. All right. And we are also given that angle CAD is 35 degrees. Okay, angle CAD, let's label it angle CAD. This angle is 35 degrees. Okay, students. Now we have to find the measure of angle ACB. Let's mark ACB. So we have to find this angle. All right. Now, see, the proof is so easy. You just need to remember the property for diagonals of a rectangle. Let us look back. So what is the property for diagonals of a rectangle? The diagonals are congruent. Okay. So we are going to use this property. Let's start with writing out what is given and what are we asked to prove. So given that the quadrilateral ABCD is a rectangle. Okay. We are given this. And we are given that AC equals to 8 centimeters, angle CAD equals to 35 degrees. What are we asked to prove? We are asked to prove, or we are asked to find here rather, we are asked to find the measure of angle ACB and what is the length of BO. All right. Solution. We know that diagonals of a rectangle, they are congruent, right? Diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. So what can we say? Therefore, we say that AC is equals to DB, correct? BD or DB, it's one and the same thing. Okay, so this is the property of a rectangle. Okay, and therefore, what is that equal to? Since AC is 8 centimeters, we can say BD is also 8 centimeters. All right. Now, we are asked to find what is BO. Okay, BO is just this part. Okay, BO is just this part. So remember one thing, that a rectangle is also a parallelogram. Okay, so I'm going to write it out. Remember that a rectangle is also a parallelogram. Therefore, what can we say? And we know the property of a parallelogram. Diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Okay, diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. Right? We know this is a property of parallelogram. So if they bisect each other, then we can say AO is equals to OC and OB is equals to OD. All right. So what will happen? This complete thing is 8 centimeter, half of it, right? So therefore, what is OB? OB is equals to OD. Therefore, what can we say? Length of OB or length of BO. We are asked to find length of BO. So let us use the same words or same order. Length of BO will be equal to half of DB. That is equals to what? That is equals to half of 8, which is equals to 4 centimeters. Okay, so we have got the length of BO to be 4 centimeters. Next, we have to find what is angle ACB. Okay, let me highlight that angle. Angle ACB. So I am asked, or we are asked to find this angle ACB. And what are we given? We are given this angle CAD. CAD is 35 degrees. Now just look at it and check. We know that this is a rectangle. Therefore, AD is parallel to BC, right? And do you notice these are which pair? Do you see the Z formation? Z formation means these angles are alternate pair, right? So what can we say? It's a rectangle. Therefore, DA is parallel to BC. Therefore, we can say that angle DAC is equal to angle ACB or BCA. Okay, this angle ACB. Why? Why is it so? Because of alternate pair, right? Because of Z formation. So since it's an alternate pair, these two angles, they are equal. Therefore, we can say angle ACB is equals to 35 degrees. Okay. Now, look at the properties that we have used. First thing, the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. Secondly, we have used the other property that it's a parallelogram also. Therefore, the diagonals, they bisect each other, right? And another property is the alternate pair. So that's how you're going to prove. You have to remember all the properties that we have done in this lesson. Okay. And with that, you can stop here and continue with the remaining questions in the next class.